coordinator. The support coordinator then sets up a plan. What do they need? What do they want? They have an OT, an occupational therapist, come in and just talk with them and assess them, write a report. That will go to NDIS, and then the NDIS will work out what sort of funding they need. From there, they work out, all right, so you've got this much funding for in-home care, so they can then find a provider, which we are, and then we provide the care. It might be 8 hours a week, it might be 10 hours a week, it might be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's everything and anything in between. So we then provide that. We then send an account either to the NDIS and they will pay us directly, or it goes through an NDIS planner. They support the client. So it just depends. And the same with My Aged Care. They have their funding. We also operate with self-funded retirees. We just charge exactly the same money. We're not in this for the money. You need the money. You need the money to make the business operate, but we're not in it to make money for ourselves. We're in this to lift an industry. So for me, the money will go to education, and my big dream is to build 2 hospices as a charity. That's what I really want to do. One for adults and one for children, and have a lovely big garden right on the acreage there in between the 2 hospices that has fruit and veggies and beautiful flowers, run by people with disability. So we can provide work for them. And then eventually I'd love to build our own offices. For what we pay in rent, we might as well be paying a bank loan. That's the way I look at it. But we could purposely build an area where the bottom floor, we could have a coffee shop up one end where people could come in and enjoy company with one another, but run by people with disability. We can be running our program up the other end of our kitchen rules, which we're already running, and it's very successful, where our clients come in, choose a menu, go and shop for it, come back and cook, present it, learn how to set the table, all those sorts of things, present it, and then clean up. So we'd love to have better premises to do that, for them to be able to learn at a higher level there. And then all other activities, art and craft, reading, there's all sorts of things. The mind boggles. We already do. We take them out into the community. They go to lunch at the RSL. They go bowling, 10-pin bowling and lawn bowling. There's a squillion things people do, and we're just going to continue to build it. We run a sausage sizzle in the park every 2 weeks. We like to invite anybody who wants to come. We don't care if they are with other providers. We're not interested in taking clients from anybody else, but we are interested in building community and building that those who have a disability can be mixing with people like themselves, so they understand each other on a different level.
Yeah, and those are amazing aspirations to be working towards. And the thing is, you're going to need money to do all those things as well. So a lot of people might even look at it and go, oh, you're getting paid all this money from government, getting handouts, getting this, getting that. And it's that perception that you're using the money to become rich and wealthy off the back of other people, but it's not at all the case. No. And what people need to understand is, in order to create positive change in this world, you need money.
Absolutely.
It is as simple as that. You're a business at the end of the day, and there's nothing wrong with making a lot of money. You should. I hope and pray that you become the wealthiest person in this space, because I know exactly what you're going to do when you get that wealth. You're going to then reinvest it into other things that'll benefit the community, that'll benefit people, that'll benefit your business and yourself. You were saying, I think yesterday, it's like, if I was ever seen driving a $200,000 car, that's a bad image for you. And then to me, I was like, that's very upsetting. Do you know what I mean? Because you deserve to drive that amazing car and wear nice clothes and buy nice things. You work hard for it. You sacrifice probably more than most of the other people do. And yet you're now getting penalised because of that sincerity on how you're going about things, because you've made a bit of money on the side.
Is that frowned upon in the industry?
I think so. I think you need to be very, very careful. I don't think there's anything wrong with taking a regular wage, whatever that is. And if you save your own money and you do what everybody else does, why should you be penalised for that? I agree with that. However, somebody once said to me, it's only greedy. If I took all the money and put it all in my own pocket, that's when it's greed. So it's having that balance.
Yeah.
It is having that balance. But I've been accused of spending other people's money to become a millionaire.
But they don't know. They don't know.
They have
ins
no
and outs,
idea.
So it's water off a duck's back. That's what it has to be.
Oh, absolutely.
I know someone, and I won't. I'm going to be really, really vague because I don't want this to get back to anyone or for anyone to figure it out. But they were in a similar space with you, and they had gone out and bought. They'd made they'd made a lot of money in that space. But again, creating a lot of positive change. They didn't just do it off the back on taking advantage of people, but they made a lot of money in that space and went out and bought a Ferrari and actually had a whole range of supercars, in all honesty, like millions of dollars worth of vehicles. And then there was an article written, I think it was in one of the mainstream papers, about, look at this person flashing around in these government-bought cars and all this sort of stuff. And he's like, hang on. What do you remember those sleepless nights when I didn't have the car and I was riding a bike to work because I was trying to get this thing off the ground? And look at all those buildings that I've built and look at all those things that I've accomplished and changed. But you're focused because I've now rewarded myself after 40 years of work with a vehicle of my dreams, with any vehicle that I want to have of my dreams. And it's unfortunate that we're one of the only countries that have that mentality, which is the tall poppy syndrome. And we're now known for it. It's become that famous that people know about tall poppy syndrome. Do you reckon that's changing, by the way?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't think it's changing.
I think as soon as someone, maybe us. Yeah, for sure. I've never felt that way, though, even before I had any sort of wealth or success or anything like that. I never saw someone and go, daddy's money or he's a drug dealer or he's...
Oh, really? So you were...
Never. I never thought about people like that.
You never saw someone with like a young age and a lot of money and you thought he's either been given that money or he's doing something illegal?
I don't think
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay.
That's the honest truth.
I don't honestly believe I saw it.
Could be the area I grew up in. Could be something, or the schools I went to, or the people I grew up hanging around. But yeah, growing up, if I saw someone to the extent where I used to work at Mercedes-Benz, and if I would get a nice car to drive home that night, and I'd have P's up, like P plates.
Yeah.
And I would drive around thinking people are looking at me saying daddy's money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my dad's broke. This is not even my car.
Yeah.
But that was how much that was ingrained in me, that I thought other people were thinking about me when I was driving a nice car.
But it probably would be. People were probably thinking that too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. A lot of that is there. And that's because they've almost given up on their ability to ever own a vehicle like that, and they're 40 years old.
So you reckon they're justifying?
Probably. I think so. They're giving into their own shitty existence as far as what they have given up on.
Making a reason as to why they can't.
That's right. So whenever I see anyone saying, "Oh, it must be nice," or "Oh, you're lucky," it's like,
but why? So why do we do
What's
that?
luck?
What is like? Why do we do that though?
Because I've heard in America they celebrate successes like that.
Do they?
I mean, I haven't seen it firsthand, but I have from what I've seen online. When they see someone successful, that's like, "Oh wow, how did you do it? That's amazing." Whereas here, it's like, better not speak to him because his bikie mates will whack me. You know what I mean, or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah, it's very.
I think I've learned in
reserved.
life that you need to focus on having a lot of integrity and doing in life what it is you want to do. And as long as you're not hurting anybody or taking advantage of anybody, and you've worked hard for what you've got, then you deserve what you get.
Absolutely. And you shouldn't worry about what
and
anything
you shouldn't be
or anyone
worried
says.
about what anyone thinks. And as somebody we all know often says, when you step forward, someone's going to criticise you. Back, they'll criticise you. To the left and right, they'll criticise you. And if you stand still, they'll criticise you. And that is the absolute truth.
And something else I've learned, you'll never get criticised by someone doing more than you.
No.
It's always people doing less than you that are getting criticised.
That's true. That's very true. But I think just walk in your integrity and, you will get criticised, but do what's right by you. Become the best version of who you are, grow into the person you were meant to be, and leave this life having left a wonderful influence.
Yeah.
That's how I think we should all focus.
And yesterday when we were chatting as well, we were talking about business, funny enough, and you made a comment, but I actually didn't even focus on the business stuff you'd said. And it was like about Christmas and how you had, over the last 10, 15 years, whatever it's been, you've always had the family, everyone, extended family, it's always been at your house. And you said I had 9.5 people that had come from me.
Absolutely.
And I thought that was like that in my definition of it, I think that's the meaning of life and really the ultimate success in life is when you can sit back and once I hope to get to your age and beyond, I can sit back and say the same thing, or my wife or my family, we can all sit there and have the generations there. And Patrick Bet-David says this too, like, and this comes back to the money mindset. He goes, I wanted to make so much money that when Christmas time comes, it's never a conversation of where Christmas is this year.
Yeah.
It's always at my house. It is always there. Selfishly, he said that. Because I always want to spend it with my kids. If that means I need a big enough house that I have to then fly the in-laws of my children to my home and they sleep at my home for that whole 2-week period and I have the whole family, that's what I'm going to do. That's how big I want to get because that's what I want in my life. He had a huge want and desire to have his family near him and by him. And then, you know, again, similar to you, how you had your family during Christmas, and many of us do, but to sit back and go, you know, everyone has come from, you know, from myself, from my husband, from my parents, and so on and so forth, and you have all those generations under the one roof. That to me is a very special thing.
It was special. It was very special. So having had 4...
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click just over here. Or if you want to watch the full episode, you can click over here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.